friends, welcome or welcome back to the Blue Butterfly Tarot. Today we are going to be doing a twin flame connection check-in, and before we get into the reading, let's just take some time to realign our energy. So close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Alrighty, let's take a look at what core wounds are playing out in your respective lives at this point in time. So especially when it comes to a twin flame connection, many of the wounds start playing out either in the connection or it starts playing out in other aspects of your life to trigger healing within you. The main objective of the twin flame connection is to reach inner union, a very healthy balance of both masculine and feminine energy within you. So I thought that we could maybe start with core wounds that are playing out right now. What is being brought to your attention at this point in time, and what are you meant to heal, and maybe even get some advice on how to get started with healing those wounds that are coming up right now in your life, right? So it could be, you could be experiencing it within the connection. You could also be experiencing it outside of the connection, all right? So first, let's get into the divine masculine. What is playing out? What core wound is playing out in the divine masculine's life at this point in time? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, gotta cover that. Hold on. Okay. All right. So, divine masculines. Let's take a look at what's going on with you at this point in time. Right now, you may be going through, I guess I would say, situations that are bringing you pain at this point in time, whether it is with respect to your career, other relationships. There seems to be something that has been hitting you again and again. That energy is coming through, all right? Maybe you are trying to put up a brave front. Maybe you are trying to be strong, and in that process, what's happening is you might actually be struggling to recognize or even accept that you are in pain and you are hurt by the situations that you are going through at this point in time. So maybe there is an aspect of you that's brushing away the pain that you are experiencing. Maybe there is a part of you that feels if you don't tell anyone that you are in pain, then maybe in a way that is you putting a brave front, maybe that is courage, maybe that is strength within you. However, that is actually a core wound that is playing out, divine masculines. What's happening on your end is by pretending that you are not hurt, you are actually denying the pain that you are going through. You don't have to tell it to anyone. You don't have to show it to anyone as well. But you do have to accept it for yourself first, that yes, this situation is causing me pain. Yes, I am hurt because of this person, or I am hurt because of so-and-so's actions of this particular person. So until you get to that point of accepting that certain situations or certain people are hurting you, you are affected by it, it will unfortunately or fortunately keep coming up, all right? So if lately you've been experiencing a lot of pain, like it's a very abnormal level of pain, maybe sharp words that someone else is saying, or maybe even your divine feminine as well, maybe her actions or how she's showing up in the connection, maybe it has been hurting you, but you might have been brushing it away. Maybe there are other people in your life, certain situations that you are feeling that pain, that hurt within you. I'm not saying that you're not feeling it, but I am saying that you might not be accepting that pain in the name of being courageous, sorry. Now, one message that's coming through is the more you can accept that, yes, I am in pain, or yes, I was hurt by so-and-so's actions, or so-and-so is hurt, what you are doing is you are actually learning how to tackle that particular wound that is coming up. You are addressing it head front rather than maybe suppressing it, maybe not admitting it to yourself, or maybe out of the love that you have for the other person, you're not accepting that you are in pain. Now this, it does come under the wounded masculine energy, where because of, maybe not accepting that you are hurt, maybe it comes out in your actions. You become emotionally a little bit closed off. Maybe invariably you start to kind of put up walls, put up boundaries without your knowledge, and that might come off a little bit defensive. It is your defensive mechanism to protect yourself. But the more you accept that, yes, I was hurt by that, yes, that situation is causing me pain or has caused me pain, the more you step into that energy, the more you'll be able to be open to working through that wound as and when it comes up, those triggers as and when it comes up, right? And maybe you are also not vocalizing your thoughts and your feelings. You're kind of keeping it within yourself. So that also is something that's playing out. But more than you telling it out loud, it's more of acceptance within yourself that's coming through. And that can often become a reason why you are emotionally unavailable or you seem emotionally closed off to other people, because over those years, perhaps this has been happening for quite some time. So over the many experiences where you pretend that you are not hurt, what happens is that layer of defensiveness starts building up without your knowledge. It actually happens without you knowing as well. That's just, because you haven't worked through it, it becomes a layer. It becomes a layer, a layer, a layer. And in that respect, the people around you, people who want to show you love, people who want to give you the love that you deserve, the love that they feel for you, it might start to push them away. It might start to make them feel like their love is unreciprocated. And that's where, we come into the divine feminines, where, sometimes the divine feminines do feel that their love is not reciprocated. Their divine masculines are emotionally closed off. Maybe on your end, you feel, okay, I am being so open. I am telling you, that I care about you, or I am here for you. I am here in this connection. But without your knowledge, if you don't, accept that, accept certain situations where there was pain, where there was hurt, whatever those situations may be, it could be way back in your past as well. Maybe it's time for you to look back and take a look at all of those situations where you may have suppressed all of that pain that you felt, or not even acknowledged to yourself that you were hurt by those situations. So that emotional closing off happens on a very subconscious level. Not calling you out over here. It's very natural. I've been through it as well. Like I said, we each have masculine and feminine energies within us. There are woundings that happen on both sides. We do sometimes show up in wounded aspects of it, shadow aspects of it as well. All right. So this is to help you clear out that block that's coming up within you, and that's being brought to your attention at this point in time. So maybe the situations that you're going through at this point might be a little bit overwhelming. They might be very hurtful. You might be finding yourself in one painful situation after another, and maybe you're brushing it off, thinking of it as courage. But the way to close out the cycle is to start accepting the moments that you have felt pain, the moments that you have felt hurt. And it's not just what you are going through right now, it's also looking back at your past and taking accountability for all of those moments that you did feel hurt. It's not accountability for someone else's actions. No, it's for yourself. You recognizing it to yourself that, hey, yes, I was hurt. That incident, it did bring pain to me. You don't have to be strong not to feel pain. Actually, it is quite the opposite. It takes strength to feel the pain, to acknowledge that you were hurt by certain situations in your past as well. That is the starting point to work through the core wound that is being shown to you at this point in time. All right. The more you work through these wounds, the more emotionally available you start becoming, because those layers start to soften and then they start to wash away as well. These are layers that form even without you knowing, but they do come about because of this particular wound. Okay? And I think I did receive a question in the comments that you've been doing different things and you're waiting for union, or when is union going to happen. the first and foremost priority of a twin flame connection, all right, is inner union. There needs to be a beautiful balance of masculine and feminine energy within you first, and then aligning with the polarity that you feel called to. All right, so that there are different meanings to inner union. What inner union means to me might be different for what inner union means to you. However, the core of it remains the same. Until inner union, that peace within yourself is achieved, until that happens, the union in the twin flame connection will be very rocky, unstable, because what happens in the connection is actually what is happening within you. So if there is no inner union, the outside union will not be stable. It will be very choppy. It will go into separation, then come back again, then go off again. But to stabilize your outside reality, your inner reality first has to be in that energy. You have to achieve that frequency within yourself first, whatever frequency you want in your connection outside of you, especially in the twin flame connection. It has to be achieved within you first, all right? So until that point, so you could be doing different things. You might be feeling like you're doing a lot for union in 3D between you and your partner or your twin flame, but even doing things in the wrong direction, that is also misalignment. So focus on the frequency that you wish to achieve in your connection. You have to tap into that frequency within yourself first. That is how it will be mirrored outside of you. All right. So that's why I felt like it's important for us to talk about the core wounds that are coming up to the surface, because unlike normal relationships, when we come to these high frequency soulmate connections, especially a twin flame connection, there is a lot of wounds that come up to the surface in order for us to work through it, in order for us to understand the trigger and to heal as well. These happen on its own, like the wounds trigger and then we work through them. It happens on its own. However, the more conscious we are of these wounds, the more intentional we become about the healing process, and the more we are able to navigate, or I guess the simpler it becomes for us, the more peaceful it becomes for us to navigate the process. The pain will still be there, absolutely. The chaos, the conflict will still be there, but at least there will be intentional flow as we navigate through that, all right? So that's why I felt like it was important for us to talk about core wounds in this particular video. Definitely let me know if you like this, this conversation that we are having, all right? Yes, that is one thing that I wanted to talk about. Now let's get into the core wound that is playing out with the Divine Feminine at this point in time. What is being called to her attention at this point in time? All right, Divine Feminines, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, Emperor, Five of Cups. Okay. Alrighty, Divine Feminine, I know what wound is playing out over here for you. Every time your Divine Masculine is around you, you feel safe, you feel secure. Every time they pull away, every time they go through maybe these moments of when they are overwhelmed by what is happening in the connection, you start to panic. You start to wonder if it was all in your mind. You start to worry about maybe losing the connection. So on your end, the wound that I see playing out at this point in time is you panicking when your Divine Masculine pulls away. And that wound, this connection, might not even be playing out in this respective connection. How it can be playing out in other aspects of your life. Like I always say, and I think that I will be repeating this very often because I think that this is very, very important to keep in mind even as you are navigating. Like there will be other aspects of your life that are triggering these wounds that actually help you achieve inner union for the connection, for the energetic balance within this connection, right? That is the twin flame connection. That's why, certain souls take on this journey because of the hard work, the constant work, energy work that is needed, not just within the connection, but outside of it, in order to first achieve inner union so that the soul mission can be carried out. How that soul mission is carried out varies very, very differently from connection to connection, all right? But the inner union aspect of it is very, very important, all right? Okay, so how this could be playing out in other aspects of your life. All right, you could be maybe in your career or maybe in other relationships. Maybe you think you have something and then maybe it slips away and then you start to panic. Or maybe, let's say, for example, you have a job. All right, the job is yours. You have received the promotion. You are there in it. And then you suddenly start feeling threatened by someone around you, or someone around you starts to shine a little bit more. They start to outperform you, or at least in your perception, you feel like they are. And then that panic sets in. All right, that panic sets in about your capabilities, about your worth, about the promotion that you deserved, whether you're going to lose it, whether you are no longer going to have it within you. What if someone takes it away? What if someone else's actions is going to take away this little bit of joy that you have felt because of this promotion? Now, this is one way that it could play out, right? The core wound that is being triggered at this point in time, whether it is within the connection or outside of you, is that you are panicking when it feels like you are about to lose something that you are holding on to. All right. So what the example that I gave, of course, feel free to see it in other perspective. Feel free to align it to what you are going through in your life as well. Now, when this core wound comes into play, it's more about finding that stability within yourself, finding that inner trust within yourself, all right? When we start to look for external validation, when we start to look outside of us to determine how stable we feel on the inside, that's when it becomes chaos. That's when we end up kind of fluctuating in our emotions based on what is happening outside of us. So if you don't get that job, then you're feeling unstable. If maybe another connection slips away, or you feel your friend, or even your divine masculine pulling away, you feel that need within you to hold on to it, to grab even more. And that unfortunately ends up pushing you into a very shadow feminine energy where you might start being manipulative. You might start being emotionally controlling of the situation. You might try to accidentally, on purpose, try to create situations to help you feel better. Now, that core wound, like I said, I am not calling anyone out here. Even I have been through it as well. We all have masculine and feminine energies, and whatever it is that I am speaking about, yes, it has definitely been a wound that I have also experienced, and it took me some time to work through it. Even now and then, it does pop up, in other aspects of my life as well. And, it's just that it's not that the wounds ever disappear, it's that your course correction smoothens over time. All right, that is also one more aspect that I want to say. So maybe this has happened time and again, and maybe you're frustrated that every time some situation outside of you does not go the way that you want it to, maybe you start to panic, you start to spiral, and maybe you are getting very frustrated with yourself. However, one thing you have to understand is the moment you understand that this is a core wound that's playing out, all right, the fear of rejection, the fear of losing what you do have, and instead learning how to be secure in yourself, learning how to find that power within you, that regardless of what is happening outside of you, you are going to be stable, you are going to be balanced, you have trust in how you are going to handle things. Maybe that job is going to go to the other person, maybe your divine masculine is actually going to pull away, maybe it is time for separation. But the more you trust yourself in this situation, and that's the Queen of Pentacles energy, as well as the Emperor energy also coming through. As long as you trust yourself, you have yourself to rely on, focus on finding that stability within yourself rather than holding on to the stability because of something outside of you. The more you step into that energy, the more you'll realize that there are actually two cups standing right there. Yes, things may go wrong. Yes, sometimes misalignment happens. Yes, sometimes it is painful. However, there is always you that you can rely on. So that focus has to start coming inwards, divine feminine. The more you start to recognize that you can rely on yourself, regardless of what happens, You have that power within you. You are incredibly powerful. You can rely on that power within you. Regardless of what happens on the outside, you will start to flow with how things are moving in your life. That panic starts to subdue. It starts to reduce over time because, yes, it will come up. I'm not saying that the panic will disappear completely and you will never feel panic in your life. No, I am not saying that. But when that panic comes about, you will be able to course correct. You'll be able to say, all right, I am panicking about this. So and so is happening. Yes, I am feeling afraid. Yes, I am feeling that fear of rejection coming up. Instead of trying to control that situation, instead of trying to manipulate that situation, I am going to realign to myself. I am going to trust in my energy, in my capabilities of handling whatever happens outside of me. It could go wrong, it could go right, but I will focus on myself. The more you center to your energy, the more lighter you'll feel, the more you'll be able to handle the panic that comes up. Because I understand that the panic that comes up, it's very debilitating. It just pushes you completely off track. You don't know how to deal, even the thoughts that you're having, it just becomes very, very chaotic. You start to panic, and in that confusion, the way that you show up also starts to change. And because your energy is shifting, the way that you show up starts shifting because of what you're going through internally. Again, externally also starts to align. So maybe if you start to panic even more, then the divine masculine, for example, if we're talking about the connection, they start to pull away even more because they're feeling that intensity of you relying on them for assurance. So even if it is with the other situation that we talked about, for example, the job, it might actually, start to feel like things are shifting in that other person's favor, or it will really start to slip away because you're now starting to manipulate or maybe control the situation so that you feel better. However, if you realign to yourself, regardless of what's going on the outside, you find that inner stability. Like if they want to pull away, yes, allow them to. You find that energy within you. You give that love and support to yourself. You recognize your worth and your value so that that fear of rejection, you can work through that fear of rejection. Right? So that is one core wound that is playing out in your life at this point, whether it is in this connection or it could be externally as well. But it seems to be a primary thought process that might be overwhelming you at this point in time. But the more you work through it, and it's possible to work through it, Divine Feminine, all right? It is absolutely possible. Like, I understand the panic. I understand the anxiety that might also come up in moments like this, and how clouded your judgment can become, or just you might not even know what to do at this point in time. But the focus should be realigning to yourself, all right? Trusting your worth and recognizing that worth for yourself first, all right? The moment you recognize that worth that you have, then you will also recognize that nothing that's meant for you will slip by, right? Even if your person does panic and pull away, they will come back if they are meant to, if they are meant to align with your energy. But you first have to believe in that energy of yours. You first have to recognize how powerful you are. You first have to recognize your own worth, all right? That yes, I am worthy of being in this position, of being in this connection, of receiving love, of being deserving of maybe that promotion, so on and so forth, all right? So that seems to be what is playing out in your life at this point in time. That is one way to help you resolve that core wound of fear of rejection. Maybe this, like your first, like your divine masculine pulling back has happened multiple times over a long period of time, so much so that it's causing that panic. Like you subconsciously know the moment they start to pull away, and that's understandable. The panic does come and it will keep coming, but how you work through it is what will make the difference and what will help you cope with the situation, all right? So that is what is playing out at this point in time. What I will do is, let's get maybe, what shall we look into? Maybe let's see how to, like the divine masculines, what they're going through. It obviously, the energy does affect the divine feminine, and whatever the divine feminine is going through, it obviously does affect the divine masculine, right? So let's crisscross and let's see how to, like, I've given you advice for what you are going through. I've given you advice to the divine masculines about what you are going through as well. So now, how do you handle the energy of what the other polarity is going through, right? Let's take a look at that. Yes, I think that will be interesting, right? Yes, I'm still forming my thoughts. Like I said, these readings are going to be very intuitive, very just, I will flow with it as it comes. So I too am structuring my thoughts as I am going about, all right? So bear with me a little bit. Divine masculines and divine feminines. All right, so divine masculines, how do you handle this fear of rejection that is coming up, or that sometimes comes up with your divine feminine? Let's take a look at that. All right. All right. Okay, we have the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups, and the Lovers. All right, so first off, you know, these wounds, I do want to say this is something that I very strongly believe. You know, as much as we can be there by someone's side as they work through their wounds, as they work through their triggers, we should never be doing their shadow work for them. That becomes misalignment. You are taking on unnecessary energy that is not meant to be yours to be taken. I hope that is grammatically correct. And if you take on that shadow work for them, okay, that is supposed to be part of their soul's journey to learn that lesson. So if you take it on for them, that becomes a lack on their end, and they end up attracting more and more situations that force them to invariably take on that soul lesson. So it starts getting harder and harder for the other person. It's not just in this connection, anywhere else as well. You should never do someone's work for them, all right? In terms of shadow work, particularly. They have to go through it on their own. It is meant for them to go through. Yes, it will be extremely painful for them sometimes. Yes, it is a journey that they have to take on their own. You can be by their side. You can provide support, you can provide encouragement, love, kindness, compassion, empathy, but you should never be doing their work for them. That is very, very important. I will probably be saying this a lot in these readings, all right? Not just for like twin flame connections, even otherwise as well. Alrighty, so on your end, all right, so this is a little bit tricky, all right, divine masculines, because when your divine feminines are, I guess I would say, you know, in this state of panic, it's probably because they do sense that you are pulling away, right? So first, I think admitting to yourself that yes, maybe there is something about this connection that I am getting overwhelmed by, or there is something about this connection that is making me pull away. Even just having that awareness will help in this situation. And you might be feeling their energy, even if you are not in union, even if you are in separation, you will be feeling that energy, that pull from them. When you feel that pull, right, you have to let your divine feminines know that as much as I can be there by your side, all right, as much as I can, you know, to the best of my abilities, be there to support you, this is something that you have to work through on your own, all right? So that energy might come tugging at you, it might come pulling at you, even your divine feminines might start looking for validation. It is on to you to stay in your energy and yes, stay true to yourself, but also at the same time, balancing of recognizing what the reality is, what the truth is. All right, it's kind of two ways. Yes, first you have to admit to yourself that yes, I am pulling away. Yes, maybe something's come up, I am fearing what's happening next, or there's some kind of fear that's playing. Maybe I am becoming a little bit closed off, or maybe I need some time to go within to figure things out. Even just admitting that to yourself will calm the energy between the two of you. Whether you even say it outright or not, it comes through in your actions, it comes through in the energy that you show up in. And then you can also, offer support, whether that is telepathically, energetically, or even in person as well. Offer them support, maybe even just admitting that, yes, I understand that I am pulling away at this point in time, but this is something that I need to work through. I understand where you're coming from. I understand that my actions are maybe affecting you. They might be causing that panic. I understand that. But maybe at this point in time, there are wounds that I need to work through. You can say this telepathically as well. Even if you are in separation, there is constant communication. I do want to put that out there, all right? So taking accountability for what is happening on your end, that is important. Second, showing support for what your divine feminine is going through, understanding and having empathy for what she is going through because of your actions, as a result of what is going through on your end. Like, yes, she will work through her wounds, but even just recognizing and having empathy for her journey will help to. All right, that closes, the camera closes at 30 minutes. I keep forgetting. All right, so yes, so even just accepting that, acknowledging it to yourself, within yourself, changes the energy of the connection. I always keep saying this. It's about how you are energetically. All right, you might not even be in contact, you might not even have been in contact for years as well. However, the energy that you are in shifts everything in the connection. Both of you are working off of each other's energy. All right, and the last advice coming through for you at this point in time also is to choose to work through what is actually causing you to pull away. You know, of course, you have kind of admitted it to yourself. You have recognized that, yes, this is something that I need to work through. So it's also about choosing to work through the reasons behind why you are pulling away, or even why you might be slightly closed off. So that would be a little bit of inner work, a little bit of taking on that responsibility on your end, working through it, not for your divine feminine, but for you as well. You know, because if you are pulling away, if you are being closed off, that means that somehow the energy is affecting you. Somehow there's frustration, there's chaos, there's conflict within you. So in order to resolve that, in order for you to feel peaceful, in order for you to feel balanced, it is important also for you to recognize why maybe that behavioral pattern is repeating. Why is it coming up? Why are you feeling that urge to pull away, to go within? The more you think about it, you don't even have to act on it. The more you start thinking about it, the more you start understanding that, yes, this is happening. I might not understand it at this point in time, but at least I am aware of it. The more you even pose these questions to yourself, your subconsciously, you will slowly start to work with it. And your higher self will start coming through. You're allowing that energetic channel between your higher self and you open, because you're now asking the right questions, or you're asking the aligned questions. So it kind of signals to your higher self, divine power, whichever one it is that you believe in, it signals to them that, yes, I am ready for that answer. I'm asking that question because I am starting to feel ready or open to receiving that answer. And the thing with, answers, and this is also something that you will hear me say a lot, is you need to be in a particular frequency to receive those answers. It doesn't just come about randomly. And until you unlock that frequency, it will be hidden from you. You will maybe not be able to see it even if it is in front of you. So asking questions itself puts you in a frequency to be open to the answers that will come through. All right, it might take some time for that answer to come through, but even just recognizing it and asking those questions, like, okay, I do this, so how do I overcome this? Right? And I do want to say that we each have masculine and feminine energies within us, right? So maybe you might find that the wounds that are playing out at this point in time, maybe you identify as the divine feminine, but the wound that I'm talking about in the divine masculine, you feel like it's resonating with you, or you feel like it's playing out in your life. That is absolutely okay. I do want to say, and even divine masculines, if you feel like your wounds are playing out more on the divine feminine side of what I talked about, that is absolutely okay. All right, we each have masculine and feminine energy, and I also actually mentioned it in the beginning, right? Like, this lesson that the divine masculine is going through at this point in time, I have actually been through it, and even the divine feminine as well. So it will be playing out in some shape or form. It can as well. So don't restrict yourself to, oh, okay, I identify as the divine feminine, so only those wounds will apply to me. No, absolutely not. Or I identify as the divine masculine, so only those wounds will apply to me. Absolutely not. It can crisscross. It can switch. It can even shuffle from one wound to another, or one side to another. That is absolutely okay as well. All right, as long as you're recognizing yourself in the reading, and the reading is helping you align with inner union, with feeling the most peaceful path. I guess the most peaceful path for your highest good. That could be one definition of inner union for you, but it is up to you to define it for yourself. But oftentimes, the most peaceful path is the most aligned path. There are multiple paths to get to wherever you both need to be, or wherever you need to be on your individual journey as well. But the most peaceful path is the most aligned one. And my aim as a reader over here is to help you find that most peaceful path for your highest good. That is what I feel I'm called to do. That is what I feel is my soul mission. All right? Okay. Ooh, a lot of talking. A A lot of talking, all right? But yes, I feel like I need to get these out. I will be mentioning it from time to time, but I feel it's important for me to talk about these as well as we are going through the reading. And, all right, so divine. So that is what is going on with, how to kind of handle this energy of the divine feminine on the divine masculine side. Let's take a look at the divine feminine side. How are you going to handle this energy of the divine masculines? Maybe when they pretend that they are not hurt. Let's see how it affects you and how you can deal with that situation. Sometimes, yes, when they pretend that they are not hurt, sometimes that can lead to them pulling away. Yes, we have the Hermit energy. We have the Hermit energy, yes. And then we have the Seven of Cups, and then we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, on your end, divine feminines, first off, allowing space for them to just be as they are figuring it out is very, very helpful, because when your person or when the divine masculine pretends that they are not hurt, actually that's coming from a very deep wounding where they don't want to accept that they are in pain. And it is painful on your end as well, divine feminines, to watch them maybe fake smiles or go out of their way to prove that they are completely okay, they are completely fine with whatever is going on. It might be painful on your end. You might not have access to them. So on your end, first off, I always say, allow them to go through their process. But if it is affecting you, all right, setting energetic boundaries might be helpful for you, because your divine masculine might sometimes, because there is so much of chaos, there's a lot of denial of that pain. How they're showing up might be very different from the energy that you are receiving. And that energy, most likely, you might be receiving a lot of that pain, a lot of that projection of the pain, sometimes in 3D as well, because they're not able to express it. They're not able to accept it. It might end up showing you in maybe misaligned actions, misaligned words, maybe very sharp words. Could be energetically as well. You might feel that chaos in the energy. So protecting your energy at this point in time becomes very, very important. All right, setting energetic boundaries, setting boundaries with the divine masculine, what you will accept, what you will not accept, what you deserve, what you do not deserve. Being very, very clear about that also helps. The second message that's coming through for you, divine feminines, is also understanding that what your divine masculine is going through at this point in time, that is their journey, all right? If you react or respond based to how they are showing up, that will be, again, chaos on chaos on chaos. Like, you will be kind of playing off of each other's energy, and because their energy is in denial, there's a lot of resistance to accepting the pain, so on and so forth, even your energy will start to become chaotic. It will start to become very up in the air. You will become very unpredictable. With the King of Pentacles, you need to stabilize in your energy. However the other person shows up, your divine masculine, you need to be stable in your energy. You need to stay true to who you are. You need to find that center on your end, all right? The more you can do that, and the more you recognize that it is a choice on your end to not react, but respond to how your divine masculine is showing up in moments like this, that will actually help stabilize the energy. Then what happens is your divine masculine ends up anchoring to your energy, though anchoring can go in a different direction, and we'll talk about that in another one. But they will start to reflect your energy, because one person's chaos, one person's complete maybe denial and projection of that denial as well. The more you stay true to who you are, the more you stay true to your energy, your light, your balance, your, I guess I would say, your center, the more it kind of, how do I say, how energy flows from high potential to low potential? Yeah, that's exactly what will happen here. It will start to flow. It's not even about saying anything or doing anything, just the energy that you are in. Trust me, divine feminines, it is very, very powerful, and divine masculines, you also are very, very powerful. All right, your energy is mirrored with each other, it is reflected, whether you know it or not. It is affecting, not just of course in this connection, even everything around you as well. It is very, very heavily dependent on your energy. That is the power that you hold. All right, so the more you can find that stability within yourself, the more you are triggered by maybe your divine masculine's denial of pain or hurt, or maybe the mask that they are wearing. The more you're triggered by that, the more you have to calm yourself down, find your center, and recognize that that is their journey, that is their path that they are on. And by setting boundaries for yourself, what you will accept, what you will not accept, you are actually shifting the energy of the equation. Your divine masculine will then step up. They will then get the space, the energetic space, to work through whatever it is that they need to work through. Right? By stabilizing your energy, you're also energetically letting go of the pressure on them, because the more you react to their behavior, the more that pressure subconsciously comes onto them. Now in 5D, like, because most of you will not be in union, and I understand that as well, how this energy plays out in 5D is, on the divine masculine's side, you will feel your divine feminine pulling on your energy. You will feel like that maybe you feel forced to make a decision. You will feel forced, even if they're not doing anything in 3D, you will suddenly feel that pull within you, which is why I always say, like, the energy that you are in is very, very important. Even if you're not physically doing anything in 3D, yes, your divine masculine or your divine feminine, they feel it. They feel that energy, all right? So on their end, you will feel that pull. You will feel like you are being controlled, like you're being forced to do something that you don't want to. So having that clarity on your end, that what it is that you want to do and what it is that you don't want to do, having that clarity on your end and sticking by what feels like alignment rather than being swayed by this energy or being pressured by this energy, that will also help you handle the situation between the two of you. On your end, divine feminine, how you will feel this energy of your person's like denial and of their pain is, perhaps you will start to feel your person being a little bit closed off, a little bit fake in their interactions, maybe even with the outside world, or how you feel intuitively about what they feel will be very, very different from what they are showing on the outside. And that might lead to confusion within you, like they're showing something, but they're behaving in another way. So what is it that I should believe? So even like learning how to trust what you're feeling rather than what you're seeing on the outside, that will also be a way for you to handle the energy energetically for your person. And sometimes it can be very, very confusing as well, because what they're showing on the outside might be completely different from what they are feeling on the inside. In those cases, go within and trust what you are feeling on the inside, all right, about the situation. Wow, we talked a lot. We talked a lot about wounds today. I really hope that this reading, this type of reading, is helping you in some shape or form. I wanted to focus more on woundings just because I feel like it does show up. Like, even if you are not in a twin flame connection, these wounds do show up. And especially if you are like a healer or a spiritual worker, I'm pretty sure that these wounds would have come up. Just that there is a process, there is a journey to get to, becoming a spiritual worker or a healer as well. And so even if you're not in a twin flame connection, these are wounds that might show up or have a higher chance of showing up as well. And I wanted to take some time to share how to work through these core wounds, because in my other relationship focused tarot readings, we talk about the energy, but we don't talk about how to resolve those wounds, how to work through it. And I feel like when I was going through these wounds, and yes, of course, I still do have my own wounds that are triggered from time to time. I still have my own journey of, working towards inner union, even though I feel like it is going to be a lifetime process for me. It is a lifetime process of course correction. But I feel like when I was going through a very, very difficult time, and for me, it was like a span of 15 years, and all of these wounds were like constantly being triggered, and I didn't know where to find help or what to even tell someone about it. And at that time, I mean, we were talking about maybe 10 years back, right? I mean, the concept of, seeking professional help, all of those, it wasn't really that open, or nobody was really talking about all of this on the internet as well. And I don't know, I found myself very alone as I was going through these wounds. And for me, I've had massive triggerings of masculine and feminine wounds from a very young age. The situations that I went through, the experiences that I went through, and it took me like multiple woundings and triggers for me to understand that I need to start working on them rather than just constantly finding myself in situations making the wounds even worse as time went by. So my aim with these readings are not to call anyone out, but to recognize that these wounds are there. Sometimes they do get triggered, sometimes they are being called to our attention, and how to, on a, like in a more spiritual perspective, why perhaps these wounds are meant to happen, and what they are triggering within you, and how to resolve that energetically within you as well. Because like I said, the primary purpose of like high frequency soulmate connections, divine connections, or twin flame connections, whichever one you believe in, the name doesn't matter, to be very honest with you. It's how you intuitively perceive it and what you feel to be what resonates with you and your journey. Regardless of that, and even if you are not in that, the purpose is inner union. You need to find that peace, that stability within you. And I hope that these readings help you at least recognize that you are not alone in what you are going through. I hope it helps you feel seen, that the difficulties that you are going through, the wounds that are being triggered, there's a collective that is going through it as well. And I wish that I had readings like this at that point in time. Then I would not have maybe felt so alone, and just maybe would have felt more seen in my journey as well. So that's actually my purpose and my reasoning for starting this series. My relationship focused tarot readings will continue as usual, as per normal schedule, one a day, at least for most days. I think that 90% of the time I do my best to put them out every single day. And the 10% is when I need a break, mental health break, or maybe I need to take a step back for my own personal reasons, or health, I guess I would say. But most of the times, yeah, that will continue as per usual. But it will be as and when I feel called to. And I just wanted to spend some extra time. I do want to keep these readings 30 to maybe maximum 40 minutes. Just that I also don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of information. But I feel like I needed to get some stuff out of me and to tell you maybe why I started this, why I'm here, what I feel is my soul mission as well, something that I feel is common in all the platforms that I'm on, whether it is my The Marketing Nomad YouTube channel or the Blue Butterfly Tarot YouTube channel. However, I've been showing up in my life all along, right from like since when I was born, to be very honest with you. I feel like there's always been this deep need within me to help others feel seen, to help others feel at least understood, or not feel alone in their journey. I have felt alone in a lot of, like a big, very, very big part of my life. And I think that because of that, even I've felt that even as a kid, right? So I feel like maybe that's where that desire, that need comes from, to, in whatever I do, however I show up, as much as possible, I want to do my best in the best way I know how to help people feel seen and understood on their journey, and mostly not feel alone on their journey. So yeah, that's why I started this particular series. It's going to be more intuitive. It's going to be outside of the schedule of the normal relationship-focused tarot readings that I do have. And this will be as and when I feel guided to, as and when I feel called to as a reader, and when the energy pulls at me, then I will show up. So I don't even have like a schedule that I can tell you, like unlike the relationship-focused tarot readings where I say, yes, every day, most likely you will see that video. This one, it is more so when the energy pulls at me, and then I will put those out, all right? So definitely let me know your thoughts. If there are any questions that you want me to answer through these videos about maybe the journey that you're on, maybe something that you are going through as well, definitely let me know. I will do my best to see how to incorporate those into these readings as well. And if, of course, you need a more one-on-one guidance, yes, I do offer that as well. My private readings are open. Details are in the description box as yeah, they're there. All right, if you want to take a look. All right, so definitely let me know your thoughts. I think I'll be asking for your thoughts for a couple of these videos, just because even I'm also figuring out a way for me to communicate the energy that is coming through to me, and I want to make sure that it is also aligned to your understanding to the best of I guess to aligned to the highest good for you as well. And so I am looking for your feedback. I am looking for your thoughts. So definitely let me know. And yeah, it will not be this long. The next ones will not be this long. No, I'm aiming for 30 to 40 minutes. But I wanted to take some time to spend sharing my thought process, my aim behind these videos, and just sharing more of my energy with you so that we can set the tone for the next set of videos or readings with respect to this journey, all right? And there will always be a disclaimer at the end. The disclaimer is going to be the same, but please at least once take some time to listen through it as well, all right? Okay, this is where I will leave you. I really hope that this helped you gain some clarity, comfort, and confirmation as well with what you are going through. And of course, these readings are timeless, all right? So they're not about when I post them. It's about when you feel called to, and often I think the title and the thumbnail will tell you what we are talking about. If it resonates, if it feels you feel called to, that's when you should listen. That's when you can tap into the energy. But yes, of course, if it resonates when it's posted, absolutely as well. But I just wanted to say that these readings are timeless. I intend it to be when you need to hear it. Okay. Yeah, I will go now. Alrighty, bye-bye. Take care. Trust your intuition. You always have free will. Catch you in my next one. Bye-bye. This is a standard disclaimer that I include in all videos related to twin flame readings. At the core of the twin flame readings is the belief that the twin flame journey is, first and foremost, about inner union. Healing the wounds within ourselves brings balance, peace, and clarity, regardless of what's happening externally. Whether it's through tarot, astrology, or any kind of spiritual tool, the ultimate goal is the same: to cultivate harmony within and a deeper understanding of ourselves. And while we all have free will in how we respond to life's lessons and our own wounds, becoming aware of them allows us to move through them with more ease and clarity. These readings are here to offer reflections and insights that can help accelerate your natural growth in a gentle and conscious way. These readings will be added to a playlist called Twin Flame Readings. This is for your easy navigation. My readings are timeless, meaning they're meant to find you when you need them the most, not necessarily when they are first posted. Trust your intuition and watch whenever you feel called to. You can resonate with this video even if you are not in a twin flame connection. We all carry both divine masculine, DM, and divine feminine, DF, energies within us, regardless of gender or relationship status. It is important to know that DM and DF are energetic polarities, not gender roles. You can be any gender and embody more of one energy than the other, or fluctuate between both. Some of you may also find that your personal situation reflects more in the opposite polarity than expected, and that's perfectly okay. I'll aim to keep things gender neutral, but for ease of understanding, I may sometimes refer to the masculine as he and the feminine as she. Please interpret this in a way that aligns with your experience. Another note, if you are new here and found my channel through this video, welcome. Along with Twin Flame Tarot readings, I also share relationship-focused tarot readings, from general love energy readings to no contact separation readings. Feel free to explore those as well if they resonate with you. There are playlists to help you navigate different types of readings available on my channel. For those of you who have been here for a while, don't worry. My usual relationship focused tarot readings will continue as always. These twin flame readings are simply an addition shared whenever I feel guided to. Another disclaimer, I am not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional. The insights I share are based on tarot, intuitive guidance, spiritual perspective, and over a decade of personal experience studying the twin flame journey and collective energy. My readings are intended for spiritual and informational support only and should not be taken as a substitute for professional therapy, counseling, diagnosis, or even medical care. If you are experiencing distress or mental health challenges, please reach out to a qualified professional for support. Always use your own discernment. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Thank you.